Happy opening day, Charm City. It is a Thursday edition of Glenn Clark Radio. Get you ready for the game. Get you ready for the Sweet 16 tonight. We got a lot to do on the program, and yes, we are starting a little bit early because of that. Superbook.com. Download the Superbook app. Use the code GlennClark23 when you sign up. You'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet. Match, win or lose. Orioles minus 168 favorites today. Total is set at 7.5. Come on, what are you doing? It's open today. We're betting on the birds. That's what we're doing. So get in at Superbook. Download the Superbook app and use that code GlennClark23. Hoops tonight. Arizona, 7.5-point favorite over Clemson. UConn, 11-point favorite over San Diego State. North Carolina, 4.5-point favorite over Alabama. Iowa State, a 1.5-point favorite over Illinois. I think I like the Illini there. Speaking of the Illini, later on in the program, again, Superbook.com. Download the Superbook app. Code's GlennClark23. Up to $250 in a same-day first bet match. Speaking of the Illini, a little bit later on in the program, Amani Hansberry, Mount St. Joe's own. I'd say Baltimore's own, but he's actually technically not from Baltimore, but he played at Mount St. Joe. He's going to join us as Illinois gets ready to play Iowa State tonight. Also, coming up a little bit later on, Stevie Daniels from ABC2 will check in. It looks like we're good for baseball today. Is it going to be pleasant? Let's find out. We'll have her check in a little bit. And in just a minute, Mark Gubicza, Angels Color Analyst, will join us as we will preview the other side of opening day in a franchise that appears to be like teetering into moribund territory. I don't know. They still have Mike Trout, but that's like about everything they have. I'm not sure what to make of the Angels as they come to Baltimore. Hey, look, I don't have much more to say. I know that the big news yesterday was that it's official that David Rubenstein and his group was approved, and the Orioles have new ownership. We've been talking about it for some time. We knew it was coming, so I've read a couple of interviews. I did not get a chance to watch Ryan Ripken. A miracle how he pulled it off. He sat down with David Rubenstein and Cal Ripken. I have not had the opportunity to watch that yet. The Athletic nor the Baltimore Sun interviews, I have not read anything specific about payroll. I did see where David Rubenstein said he wouldn't meddle in what Mike Elias was doing, but I think there's a big difference between meddling and saying you have more money to operate with. I don't know exactly what to make of that. So that, to me, is still the question that I would need answered. And, again, if that was brought up or addressed in the conversation that Ryan Ripken had with him, then that would be a great – I would like to know that. That's the one thing I just didn't get from reading the two interviews that I did with The Athletic and the Baltimore Sun. But I get it. There's a lot of excitement. There would be excitement no matter what because it's opening day. There's far more excitement, obviously, here in Baltimore because of the new ownership. And it'll be interesting to see how much more David Rubenstein has to say in the coming days, specifically about payroll itself. And part of that might be he just doesn't want to commit to – it might be we'll see how it goes. But I think for Orioles fans who are most specifically wondering, is there any hope of doing extensions with this core of three players, Rutschman, Henderson, Holliday, I think that would be the one payroll-related question that would be particularly interesting for Orioles fans from new ownership. All right, let's look at the other side of opening day today. Joining us now here on GCR, this man is color analyst for the Los Angeles Angels. Of course, an outstanding pitcher himself, and I am told he was once a Baltimore Orioles fan. He is Mark Gubicza, and he's with us this morning here on GCR. Mark, it's Glenn in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you. Thank you for taking the time for us. Happy opening day to you.
Glenn, thanks, man. I'll tell you what, regardless if it's a little cloudy out now or not, it doesn't matter. It's opening day.
Yeah.
And by the way, how is this not a national holiday, opening day?
Man, you know, from your lips to God's ears, Mark. I don't want to even be doing this show. We get to talk about the Orioles for a living, and I still don't want to be doing it. I'd rather be just celebrating and enjoying my day. Mark, so give me the background, because I did not know this about you. You grew up as an Orioles fan?
Yeah, obviously growing up in Philly, I mean, I'm a diehard Eagles, Phillies, Flyers, and Sixer guy, but there were some pretty lean years back when I was younger with the Phillies, so I had to like gravitate towards another team, and I'd always loved the O's. Jim Palmer's my all-time favorite player. Brooks Robinson actually was, one of my agents playing when I was in my playing days, and Mark Belanger, Frank Robinson, Eddie Murray, Cal Ripken Jr. I mean, I was just a huge Orioles fan. I mean, I was still heartbroken. I'm going to age myself a little bit. The '79 World Series.
Yeah, we don't like to talk about it.
Got
yeah.
you guys. So yeah, but I mean, I loved them. I just loved the way they played. I mean, Earl Weaver was so cool. Just to even eventually when I made it to the big leagues, he was back as the manager there. Him and the other side of the dugout when I was playing. That was so cool. So I love the yard. The old stadium, Memorial Stadium. I love Camden Yards. So. I'm a big fan. I've always have it. I think it's great for baseball that the O's are back and being relevant again.
So by '83, you weren't in the bigs yet. Did you still maintain rooting interest when the Orioles played the Phillies in the '83 World Series?
I'd be like one of those Geico commercials. My nose would start growing if I said I was a nose fan. I was going hard. I was screaming against Rip and Eddie and the guys back at that point because the Phillies had a bunch of old school Hall of Famers. They had Tony Perez, Pete Rose, Joe Morgan, all those guys. Steve Carl were on that team, but the O's were just a little bit too good. Boddicker always reminds me of that one too because we were teammates in Kansas City later on.
Well, we are hoping that there will be another one of those in Baltimore before too long because it's still the last one, and unbelievably at this point, it's been over 4 decades. Hopefully those times are changing. On the flip side, obviously, Mark, I guess – I don't know what to make of the Angels. Obviously, the big storyline this offseason is the departure of Shohei Ohtani. Mike Trout's still there, but what – I ask this broadly. What are the Angels at this point?
Yeah, that's a great question, Glenn, because, it's funny. We were all asking the same thing to Ron Washington the other day, just before the last game against the Dodgers in that freeway series before coming here to Baltimore. And he goes – We'll determine that as we play, but I'll tell you what, this team is a team that's going to play extremely hard. And even in their promo for the start of the season, they ask the guys questions. It's a team now. It's not about a bunch, having the biggest superstars in the game with Trout and Ohtani. It's about guys that's playing hard every single day. And Ron Washington is for me, is a difference maker. I mean, the last time he was a manager, he took the Rangers to back-to-back World Series appearances.
Yep.
I mean, he wins everywhere he goes. So. It's a great staff. It's different brand of baseball. Just looking back at how many runs they scored last year via home runs, especially with Shohei there, it's going to be different. They're extremely aggressive. Rutschman behind the plate might slow that down because he's got such a good throwing arm for the O's. But they're running the bases well, and the big thing they're catching the ball. They were one of the at the bottom as far as fielding percentage last year. At the very bottom as far as stolen base attempts and going first to third. Completely different team. Granted, with spring training, but they're going to carry that same brand. They're going to force the defense to be on their toes and make plays instead of sit back and be more relaxed to make plays.
Mark Gubicza, Angels Color Analyst, with us here on GCR. Mark, I know there was a lot of attention for some of the comments that Anthony Rendon made a few weeks back, and it's certainly not anyone's obligation to be obsessed with baseball or anything along those lines, but I know they weren't received well because Anthony Rendon has hardly contributed since he joined the Los Angeles Angels. Is it safe to say that, like, any path to the Angels, surprising people this season has to include somehow, some way, Anthony Rendon staying healthy, staying on the field, and contributing at a level similar to what the Angels thought they were getting when they signed him?
100%. And, I asked everybody on the team because I actually was a coach in spring training, got to put the uniform on for 5 days. So that was one of the things I felt like asking all the guys. I said, so what do you think about Anthony? And every one of them in unison said, he's a great dude who works hard. He's been really working incredibly hard with Washington and Ryan Goings as far as fielding the ball and getting his hands back. Because there was times last year when he was in the lineup, he wasn't quite the fielder we all saw, with the Nationals and the first season with the Angels. And just staying on the field is obviously the first thing you need to do. And everyone said the same thing. Who doesn't have, the most important things are your family and your faith. But obviously that's all, everyone's feeling the same way, but you just don't say, well, and then baseball is this. But he really works hard. I think part of the time it's just his personality, but he's a guy that plays hard. And if this team is going to win, they're going to need him big time. I mean, not only fielding the ball third, but being Tony Two Bags where he's getting doubles. Like he actually was swinging the bat really well in the last few games against the Dodgers.
How has Mike Trout handled all of this? Like I just can't imagine. It's got to be frustrating to have been one of the great players of this or any era, and yet, have so little to show for it. Does he voice frustration? Does he? A lot of people on the outside assume that he would probably want out and want to be somewhere else. How does he handle all of it? And is there any thought within the Angels that, hey, if this continues to go the other way, maybe we need to move on from Mike Trout?
No, I mean, I tell you, even from the times talking to him this winter to seeing him in spring training, there's an energy about him this year. I did an interview with him really early in spring training, and the best line I think he said to me was, "I want pitchers to fear me again," and that's the thing that I took from it. Like he's ready to go, and he knew when he came up to the team, he had leaders in there. Already was Torrey Hunter there, and you had Albert Pujols and a few other guys who were already leaders. He's the guy now, and I said, how does it feel like now when you're leading Netto's, the Ohtani, the Shauna Wells, where you used to be the guy that was led by other veterans? Because I cherish that role. Very loyal. One of the most loyal players. It kind of reminds me of playing with George Brett or even Cal Ripken Jr. No matter what the scenario with the team, you were determined to wear that uniform your whole career and be that guy that gets them back to where you want to be, and that's in the postseason. And as much as people are down on this team right now, as far as what the expectations are, I'm actually for whatever reason, and maybe that's just I'm always optimistic. I think this team is actually going to surprise a lot of teams, and because they're going to catch the ball and pitch the ball much much better. And Trout, his timing is there right now. Granted, you're going to see some, obviously you'll see numbers that aren't great as far as power in spring training. But even talking to some of the coaches this morning while getting coffee, get ready for the game this morning, they said, watch out. His timing's right there, which is scary if you're a pitcher going against him.
So I want to get to the pitching here in a second. Before I do, former Oriole Aaron Hicks now in the fold with the Angels this year, and he was kind of a revelation in Baltimore last year, Mark. Like when he arrived, there were a lot of eyes that were rolling. Like, really, Aaron Hicks, okay. And then he found something. Like he looked like the Aaron Hicks that we had originally seen in New York. What will Aaron's role be with the Angels this season?
I think he's going to get a lot more playing time. I know when he initially brought him over, that it was like, is he going to be an everyday guy? He goes, I plan on being every day. And then all of a sudden you have two other young outfielders out there in the mix too. But there are five outfielders going to make the team. Obviously with no Shohei Ohtani, the DH role is going to be a revolving door, and you'll see him sometimes DH. You'll see him in the outfield. He has really, really swung the bat well. He wasn't the guy that I saw over, the last 2 years in New York. He's the guy I saw when the Angels played the Orioles. I mean, he's swinging the bat really well. He's a SoCal guy to begin with, so he's happy being home. He's going to contribute quite a bit. He's already a huge clubhouse presence, which I'm sure he was with the O's too, those last few months that he was there. So he's going to get his ABs, and if he keeps performing like he's doing right now, the team's it's a lot better with him in the lineup.
You mentioned the pitching, and it does strike me, right, Mark, as I look at the rotation, I say, this is not a bad group of pitchers. Like, these are guys that, obviously we'll see Sandoval today and Detmers, I think, this weekend, but, like, I don't think this is a bad – I don't think you would be horrified by having this be your rotation. It just seems like they all need to be a little bit better than they were most recently, again, in order for the Angels to surprise people the way that you want to see them.
Exactly. 2 years ago, they were one of the best staffs in the American League. Last year, not so. And the whole philosophy, and this is the big thing I took from being down there in camp, so especially with Barry Enright, the new pitching coach, and Steve Carsey, the bullpen coach, is the emphasis over the last few seasons was stuff and swing and miss. That was it. Not commanding the strike zone, not getting quick outs, not being afraid of pitching to contact. So it was all about throwing as hard as you can, striking people out. So that's why you saw a lot of walks, a lot of regression as far as their, being better pitchers each year. This spring, attacking the strike zone, and you can see the smile, being in the dugout, walking off the field when they got an out on one or two pitches. They're smiling coming off the field instead of trying to strike people out. There was a big thing in the clubhouse. You can't strike out a batter 0-0 count. You can only strike out a batter when you get the two strikes. So if you're not getting the two strikes, you're not getting strikeouts. So get outs, be ahead 0-1 as compared to 1-0, and being more aggressive in the strike zone and trusting your defense. Defense not giving away extra outs, so strikeouts not as important in their minds. So I think this staff has a chance of being pretty special, but there's about 4 or 5 guys waiting in the wings. The first time I've seen in my 18 years with the Angels where there's 4 or 5 guys that are coming up that were reminiscent of when I was coming up with the Royals with Coney and Sabes and myself and Danny Jackson, those type of arms coming through the system. That's how you win. That's why I always was an Oriole fan growing up. They always had pitching and they had some thumpers in there and they caught the ball, but it was always predicated around pitching. And that's where the Angels are building at this point. But these kids, they're still all young pitchers. I mean, Detmer's only 24. He's already got a no-hitter to his credit. Sandoval, who's pitching today, should be a 15, 18-game winner every year. That completely should be that. I told him that. He looks at me like, dude, if you're not winning 18 games, then you should be disappointed because he's got that kind of stuff. And bottom line is they're back to a 5-man rotation. So they could be their normal routines and be out there quicker and go out there and perform.
So, Mark Gubicza, before I let you go, if I ask you to channel that childhood Orioles fandom for a second, and I get today you're certainly not rooting for the Orioles. I understand that. But if you were to channel that, how much excitement would you have in general about the Baltimore Orioles at the moment?
I'm actually really excited for them. And just watching the kids on this team and getting Corbin Burns, who I know this for a fact. He grew up actually an Angels fan, and watching him over the years with the Milwaukee Brewers, you got a bona fide ace there. So he gives you a shot no matter what the scenario. You're not going to have a long losing streak, but you're going to win a lot of games. And if I'm an Oriole fan, which I still am no matter what, that I'm extremely excited to see how they perform this year because I think they're, people could talk about the Rays and the Yankees, and they're both good. This Oriole team, with their youth, they're going to be unbelievable this season.
We are obviously over the moon right now, and could not be more excited about what's possible for this team. So, I will tell you, Mark.
Your football team's pretty good too, though. By the way,
yeah, we just need to figure out how to get past the Kansas City Chiefs.
I'm an Eagle fan there, so.
But, it's not. You just won a Super Bowl a couple years ago, Mark. Life is good. I'll tell you, you grew up in. I of course also grew up an Orioles fan. But I was also a Mark Gubicza fan, and I had quite a few Mark Gubicza baseball cards in my life. So it's always cool whenever I get the opportunity to chat with you. Really appreciate taking the time for us today. Enjoy opening day, and hopefully we'll have an opportunity to catch up later on down the road this season. All right?
Sounds good, Glenn. Always appreciated being on there with you, man. Have a good one.
Thanks, Mark. Mark Gubicza with us here on GCR. Appreciate him taking the time for us. The Angels, it is interesting what he brings up, right? Because, you look and – they certainly don't. You don't think they can be better without Shohei Ohtani, but at the same time, they weren't good with Shohei Ohtani. It's kind of similar to the conversation I had about Maryland basketball. Although, ironically, if you didn't see it yesterday, not very surprising. Juju Reese ultimately decides he's going to stick around for Maryland basketball. Will not be entering the transfer portal. Maybe he's buoyed by the couple of pickups they've had this week in the portal, Rodney Rice and then yesterday Jacoby Gillespie from Belmont, also committed to transfer to the University of Maryland. So maybe, buoyed by some of that, he said, all right, or perhaps maybe an uptick in NIL. I don't know. But Juju Reese is coming back. But to the point, remember I said at the end of the year, everybody's losing their minds about all this. You're losing the transfer portal, but you weren't good with them. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of that, and it's sort of what I would feel about the Angels. Shohei Ohtani was really good, but they weren't good. So I don't know how to feel if I were an Angels fan. Certainly you're losing part of your identity and part of the reason why you like going to the ballpark, but you hope that there's some sort of hunger or desire from a group of younger players to take a step forward. They have talent. The point about the pitching staff, it's like they have guys. They just haven't ever seemed to all be pitching at their best or what they're capable of at the same time. I don't know if they have they announced who's pitching the rest of the weekend yet. I think we all assume it's Canning and Detmers, but I don't know if they've actually announced that yet. So that would be 2 lefties scheduled for this, as we talked about.
Yeah, it makes sense why Jackson Holliday's not here.
Right, it explains everything. So it's for 1 weekend, then I'll be here next week. I'd be in favor. I don't know who. What is it? The Royals next week? Is that who the Orioles? I got to get back into the business of checking the schedule ahead of time. I try to think of. Do the Royals have? What?
Cole Reagans is a righty.
What about Waka and?
They got Seth Lugo. He's
Lugo,
a righty too.
Yeah. So, is Brady Singer? Did he?
No, I don't. I think. Do they have any lefties?
I mean, the Orioles don't. Like, I mean, it's totally possible that the Royals don't have a.
I know. I don't think they have. I can't think of any lefties, honestly.
Royals have. Oh no, Reagans is a lefty.
Reagans is a lefty.
Yeah,
okay.
Reagans is a lefty.
All right. Well, they'll see him once. Yeah.
Well, but I don't know what their I don't know how their rotation sets.
I mean, I think they'll have to see Reagans because he'll be pitching today. And then,
so yeah, he would probably be the third game of that series. Yeah, you're right. All right. Today's show is also brought to you by the Green Turtle. Griffin, if people aren't going to the baseball game today, I would say they could spend their afternoon at the Green Turtle, right?
That would be a great place to spend the day because at the Green Turtle, every Thursday you get a free $10 bet at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks in Towson and Canton, and you can use it on whatever you would like. There is a ton of things that you can use it on today. Obviously, baseball gets underway, as well as some great college hoops matchups later as well. So the Green Turtle, you can experience the ultimate destination for game day excitement, great food, and live in-person.
I tried to lead you into it. Today, this afternoon at the Green Turtle. This afternoon.
There's baseball.
Yes. So hang out this afternoon.
Correct.
At the Green Turtle.
At the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks.
Yes.
In Towson and Canton. Get your free bet.
Very good.
And make some money while enjoying some food and some baseball.
Yes.
Today.
The baseball this afternoon at the Green Turtle if you're not headed to the game. All right. For those that are headed to the game, what can we expect weather-wise? Our friend Stevie Daniels from ABC2 is going to join us in just a few minutes. Still to come this morning, I think we'll maybe – I had a suggestion, Griffin.
Uh-oh.
Of course, yesterday for Would You Rather Wednesday, we were talking about the pepperoni cicada pizza.
I don't like where this is going.
Yeah, I didn't like where it was going either, but I get it. I get it.
Where are we going? All right, go ahead.
Dave messaged me and said – well, you guys have to make that a bet now, obviously. And I said, well, I get it. Like, that's kind of what we do.
Naturally.
Although, still a lot of people that owe us bets. Joe Serpico, Jeremy Kahn. I know where you live. Well, I don't know where Joe Serpico lives. I have no idea, actually. I don't know that. But I know where Jeremy does. Stalk him, track him down at his house. My point being, Dave said, why don't we do a bet? So maybe we do some Orioles-specific predictions today with the loser having to consume a small pepperoni cicada pizza.
Heavy on the pepperoni.
No, easy up on that. And mine would have to be gluten-free, like, or mine would have to be a cauliflower crust, which is fine. It's fine.
The problem with punishment will just be eat gluten.
Problem with the pizza is the cicadas.
Don't lose if you don't want to eat
gluten.
No.
No. I'm still eating the cicadas, a-hole. Stop it. This is not about the cicadas are the problem here, not the crust. The cicadas.
Sounds like you're in extra trouble if you.
Jesus. All right. So I think before we get out, depending on how long it goes, before we get out of here, we'll do some Orioles-specific predictions and make a side bet there. So that's what's coming up on the program. It is a Thursday and an opening day edition of Glenn Clark Radio.
Ooh, yeah, hold on.
Great. Killing it today. Just absolutely.
Craving that classic New York deli experience? Look no further than the new Atman's Deli in Baltimore's Harbor Point. Corned beef piled high, hand-rolled bagels, and something different. A bar! Atman's has food and drink specials every day. Now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in, grab takeout, or hang out at the bar for the next O's game. Atman's Deli, an authentic taste of Baltimore tradition since 1915. Find us at Harbor Point or visit atmansdeli.com.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best. best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Whether you're celebrating a special milestone, entertaining clients, or simply enjoying a night out, count on Ruth's Chris to deliver you the finest steaks, the best service, and a level of hospitality that has made Ruth's Chris one of the most revered names in steaks since 1965. Make your reservation now at ruthschris.com.
Whether your focus is luxury and comfort, convenience and technologically advanced connectivity, or sporty performance and aggressive styling, we've got the perfect Highlander for you. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Highlanders from your local Toyota dealer today.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Discover one of Baltimore's hidden gems at Guilford Hall Brewery. Enjoy dinner in our spacious brew pub, sip a signature cocktail in our outdoor dog-friendly beer garden, or take a tour of our brewery. Discover your new favorite local craft beer. From crisp lagers to hoppy ales, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Pair your brew with delicious appetizers and entrees. There are options for the whole family, but you have to try our fan-favorite giant pretzel. Guilford Hall Brewery, where every sip is a celebration. Visit us online at guilfordhall.com.
The latest edition of Pressbox is available now, and on the cover we look at the promise of spring for the Baltimore Orioles as Todd Karpovich and others shine the light on the team's hopes to take the next step towards championship contention and what reinforcements could still be coming. Plus, Pressbox personalities offer suggestions to David Rubenstein about stewarding the franchise. Also inside, Bo Smolka on how the Ravens defense could evolve with new coordinator Zach Orr. And we meet lacrosse players from the men's and women's programs across the state. Pressbox is available for free at over 500 area locations, including 60 Royal Farm stores. And you can always find the entire edition as well as the best daily coverage of the O's, Ravens, and Terps at PressboxOnline.com.
Contrary to what some people believe, I actually like this guy when he sleeps. Glenn Clark, talking sports.
All right, back in here on GCR as we continue along on a Thursday edition of the program. And again, most importantly, an opening day edition of the program. The latest in high school sports can be found by going to countysports.zone. Countysports.zone is proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer and buyatoyota.com. Latest in boys and girls lacrosse, baseball, softball, all the scores, the schedules, the pick'em contest. Find it all at countysports.zone, proudly sponsored by your local Toyota dealer. And if you missed it yesterday, we announced that in the coming weeks you're going to be seeing more of my dumb face downtown. I believe this campaign starts tomorrow on some billboard/digital signs that you see in the city. And if you see it, and you can safely, I want you to take a picture. I'm telling you right now, if it's clear that you're taking a picture or like a video while you're driving, you're going to be disqualified. We're not putting anybody at danger. If you really want to win the prize, just pull over. Find somewhere to park, hop out of your car, even sit in your car, take a picture, then get back in the car. If you're in the passenger seat, no problem. If it's clear that you're at a red light, you will not be disqualified. Although, again, pay attention for F's sake. We're going to hook you up with a $200 Ruth's Chris gift card. $200 Ruth's Chris gift card. Somebody. So if like 20 of you get in, then only one of you is going to win. Someone who sees the press box, billboard, digital advertisement, sees my stupid face, and it's fun. We had fun with it. So if you see it, take a picture of it, send it to us on Twitter at Glenn Clark Radio. That's GLENNCLARK at Glenn Clark Radio. And someone who does will receive a $200 Ruth's Chris gift card, which is extraordinary. So you want to get in. How we betting? We're going to be at Sports and Social tonight. Griffin and I have a long day ahead of us. We're going to the game. We're going to stop by Pickles ahead of time. I got to figure out where we're parking. I should have done that a week ago. I always make this mistake. And then I realize I'm going to have to pay like $50 to park. I got hoodwinked by a hotel last year. Last year, I looked up on the internet how much parking cost, and this hotel said it was $24. So I said, all right, that's where I'm going. I don't want to say the name of the hotel because that's not the way that I do things.
I guess.
What's that? Nope, we don't do things that way.
How?
I'm not saying anything. So I pull in, and I go to get my ticket in the parking garage, and it says $80.
Woo.
And I say, you said $24 online. Or in fairness, maybe it was Spot Hero that said that, and they didn't. And I'm guessing that's like the normal rate, and they were not aware that there was an $80 rate on opening day. So I said, I shall not be doing this. So then I realized I couldn't go anywhere. There's a line of cars behind me, and there was only one way to go. Like, I couldn't back up. I couldn't turn around to the car. Hey, I need y'all to move. I'm not paying the $80. So I thought, I know what I'll do. I'll just take the ticket, and I'll just leave, right? Like, then they can't charge me the $80.
They need a card on. No.
They had changed the machine that day. You had to prepay the $80 for the event.
Well done on their part, I guess.
So I got suckered out at $80 for parking on opening day last year. Jerks. But the moral of the story is we're going to be at Sports and Social tonight. We're watching the games after the baseball game. We're watching the basketball games at Sports and Social this evening. We hope that you will be coming to hang out with us like we are after the baseball game ends. Just hop in your car, get the live casino and hotel, and you hang out with us to watch the basketball games. We're going to have some great giveaways, both some press box stuff and some live casino and FanDuel stuff. And we got a grand prize. We're giving away baseball tickets. Plus, Griffin's going to do his absolute best to try to help you win some money while we watch the games. I'm nervous about that. You better come through for us. But they got great food and drink specials tonight during the games. They got lots of swag to give away, and we're giving away baseball tickets. So after the baseball game, come hang out with us tonight at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland for the round of 16 action inside Sports and Social, the best place for watching games. All right, so speaking of the baseball game, it looks like we're good. It's not like a pleasant day necessarily, but it could have been a lot worse. Let's find out more about what to expect today. Joining us now, she is our friend and meteorologist over at ABC2. She is Stevie Daniels, and she's back with us now here on GCR. Stevie, good morning. Happy opening day. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Hi, Glenn. Good morning. Yes, so happy to be here. Thanks for asking me to join.
Stevie, I always appreciate it. I was very worried that this was going to be an unpleasant conversation today and that you were going to be the bearer of, like, really bad news. But it looks like we're good for baseball, right?
Yeah, it's not looking terrible. I mean, skies are gray. We're still gonna be cloudy throughout the game, but it does look like we could see a few occasional very light showers right around first pitch, temps in the 50s. It's not terrible. I mean, we've seen worse.
All right, so I brought, like, layers today. Like, currently, I'm wearing, I think, 3 layers. I still have, like, a poncho in my car, and I have, like, a coat in my car. How many of these am I going to need? If I say get downtown around 1 o'clock, how many layers am I going to need between 1 o'clock and 6 o'clock today?
I would say between 2 to 3 for sure. Definitely the long sleeve shirt. Over top of that, the warm fleece, and then probably just put on that emergency poncho. I mean, that's really going to help you out. As we head throughout the game, I do see that our skies are going to dry out, so it's not going to be raining throughout the entire game, which is good. But our winds are going to pick up. That's kind of That's going to make it feel a little bit cooler out there. They're going to be very brisk out of the northwest. It's that darn wind.
I swear, it's the number of times in the last week, and I'm very old manish now. Like, now that I'm in my 40s, like, anything bothers me. But, like, the number of times I said, this would be okay if it weren't for that freaking wind.
It's always the wind's fault, okay? Never my fault. So everyone should just remember that.
I appreciate that. Stevie Daniels with us here on GCR. Stevie, there's no – okay, so this is the other thing that I'm nervous about. Griffin and I have to go down to the casino tonight to watch the basketball games. None of these showers are likely to, like, cause a delay, right? Like, these are the type that you can keep playing through because I can't have – rain delays because I'm not going to be able to stick around past 6 o'clock today.
I don't see a rain delay, honestly, because the rain is going to be so light. And they're already taking really good care of the field. I mean, we saw that this morning. They have the tarp down, really protecting the infield. So I don't expect a delay, and I don't expect to see any storms or anything like that, which is good.
Okay, we like all of that is good news. And that again, if it doesn't end up working that way, we promise we won't blame you for it. We promise
Thank you.
That's
all I ask.
that we won't hold it against you whatsoever. Selfish question while I have you. I'm hosting, my wife and I are hosting Easter for like 50 people in our family on Sunday, and we always try to, like, on Easter we do the egg hunt for the kids, and then we like to eat outside if possible. Is that an option this Sunday for us to be outside whatsoever?
Yes. 1,000,000%. Skies are looking drier. We're actually going to be in the mid-60s on Sunday with more sunshine. So Sunday is going to be the weekend winner because Saturday we could see a few afternoon showers. Nothing too crazy. But yes, Easter Sunday, for the most part, as of right now, everything I'm seeing, we're going to be a lot drier.
Let's see, this is wonderful news. This, look at how you've brightened my day now today. That is the best news you could have given me. Stevie, how excited are you about the Orioles?
I'm so excited. This is one of my favorite times of year because this means that our temps are going to get warmer. I'm a big summer girl. I love summer season. It's when I thrive. So I'm so happy that the O's are back.
So how did you manage to live in Western New York then? How did that work for you?
Well, when you start out in the TV business, sometimes you have to go away in order to come home. So I landed a great job in Elmira, New York. Then I went to Buffalo, and then Channel 2 came calling, and I couldn't say no.
So I had this issue when I was young in my radio career where I took a job out in Phoenix. I'm actually, like, to me, heaven is the fall, right? Like, I am the biggest basic white girl that there is, right? Like, I'll go jump in leaves.
With your pumpkin spice
latte.
Are
you kidding me? All of it. Like, I live for the fall. And then I got out there, and I was like, oh, you don't have one of those. And it was very depressing for me. Like, I couldn't decide whether it was more depressing that I had no crab cakes or no fall. They were both very equally depressing. And after 2 years, I said, no more wandering the desert for me. I've got to go home. I can't live in a world with no fall and no crab cakes.
Yeah, and honestly, the fall up in New York it's beautiful for 1 week, and then it's done.
Right, correct. Then it's October 17th, and it's snowing, and you're like, yeah, I'm good. I don't know how I feel about any of this. All right, so on the record, temperature's not terrible today. In the 50s,
No.
wear some layers. That poncho will be good, but I don't need to wear, like, the winter coat today, is what you're saying.
No, we've experienced colder days. We're acclimated to it already, but we're fine.
You say that. I've got old bones now, Stevie. I've got old bones. I'm past my prime. I can't do any of it any longer. All right, so a little bit of rain, but nothing that should be terribly detrimental to playing a baseball game.
Yeah.
That's where we're at. I love the sounds of that. Stevie Daniels, what can I plug for you?
So you can find me at Stevie Daniels WX, and then Instagram is just Stevie Daniels.
At Stevie Daniels, follow her on there, and of course you can see her on ABC2 every morning as well. Stevie, really appreciate you. This is this is always. I know it's always difficult. It's like we talk about this with fantasy football people. Like everybody's always mad at you the one time things don't go the way that people expect them to do.
I know.
It's not a perfect science. Like, it would be nice if that was the way that it worked. But appreciate you taking the time for us. Happy opening day. Enjoy it. Let's talk again real soon, all right?
Yes, sounds good. Thank you.
Thanks, Stevie. Stevie Daniels with us here on GCR as we get ready for opening day. Boy, by the way, that Sunday news just changed my world. We got, like, all of the cousins, all of their kids, aunts and uncles coming to our house for Easter. What, you want to come over?
I don't know. It sounds like
I mean, if you want to
sounds
stop
like everyone's gonna
by, it's Easter. It's a family gathering. If you'd like to stop
fine.
by,
All right,
but
fine, I won't.
I'm not saying you can't come by.
No, I get it.
I mean, I'm not putting out eggs for you to search for. I'm not doing
All right,
that.
well, okay, then yeah.
Then you're out.
right. Yeah, there's no point.
Maybe if there's an extra chocolate bunny, I'll hide it for
Ooh,
you. Right? Like you could
okay.
do that.
Okay.
There'll be some pot roast. It's a lovely day, but it just struck me last night that I hadn't even thought about the weather. Like I hadn't. This is a very busy week for your pal. Got a lot of things going on. I had 2 games yesterday. We're at the live casino. We got opening day. I got the Loyola lacrosse tomorrow night. I'm gonna be down in D.C. for a lacrosse event all day on Saturday. Like I don't have time to think about it. So, coming up with a backup plan for like, hey, what if the weather is miserable? That was gonna be hell for me. So Stevie telling me we're talking about the 60s. I love that. That is very good news. Trying to encourage my family to get there earlier. Remember last year, around like 5:30, everybody started getting cold. So I'm trying to like, hey, come over. I finish working at 2 o'clock on Sunday. By all means, come over early as you'd like. Maybe everybody doesn't start being freezing. The other problem?
The sun will be out a little later.
The psychopathic generation ahead of me, which, by the way, I think only this year is finally allowing. I'm 40, and I think this is the first year they've allowed me to graduate out of having to go hunt for Easter eggs. My father's generation.
They would force you.
My father had 3 siblings, and they, psychos, would continue to make my cousins. My cousins are like in their late 40s and 50s now.
You had a problem with this?
Would continue to, and they would like. It would make the Easter egg hunt take an hour and a half.
Sounds like a pretty good Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, it was a hell of an Easter egg hunt.
I'm only hearing positives.
I've been checked out for 20-plus years.
Well, it just sounds like a problem.
Checked out.
Sounds like you're a problem.
This is part of the reason why I offered. No, it's part of the reason why I offered to host Easter at our house. It's because now I can say, well, I've got a grill. Sorry. Y'all can enjoy hunting for Easter eggs. The dirty secret is I'm only grilling hot dogs and sausages. Like, it requires no effort whatsoever. Like, nothing. I could do it in 10 minutes and be done with it. But I won't. I will take much longer to grill those sausages. How those sausages coming? By the way, I finished The Gentleman on Netflix. God, I didn't realize that was how did I never notice that there was a Gentleman movie? I love Guy Ritchie. Was it because it was right?
Like, yeah, I don't know.
It was right before the pandemic, right? The
movie.
The TV show was this year. The movie with McConaughey and Charlie Hunnam and
yeah, I think that was 2019. Yeah, because 2019 was such a good movie year, and that one was kind of
utterly off my radar. Never connected with it whatsoever.
You watched the show.
I watched the show, The Gentleman.
Okay.
Which,
the movie was like,
oh really?
Yeah.
Well, the show is phenomenal. The show is a 13 out of 10.
Wow.
It is a joy.
Wow.
I love. There's a couple of times where it's difficult to follow some of the poker that's being played, but it's a romp, man. Like, it is just a great time. I could not. What's the dude's name from The White Lotus that's in that? The guy that was the husband in season 2 of The White Lotus. That was oh God, the hell is his name? It's gonna drive me nuts.
You can just start reading off cast members. Theo James.
Yes, that's the one.
That was one?
That's the one. Theo James is the lead in The Gentleman, the TV series, which was on Netflix. Man, this show is so good they could have put it on like Apple Plus, and it would have been
Danny
worth.
Ings, yeah.
Who?
Danny Ings.
I don't know Danny Ings. Who do you play?
He was Freddie.
Oh, the brother.
Yeah, the brother.
Who is he?
Just because his name sounds like Danny Ainge.
Oh.
But his name is Daniel Ings, actually.
Okay, if you say so. He was great. He was tremendous. This is the show. I have had some shows that I fell in love with. Very few that I have been as obsessed with as I am with The Gentleman. Like, I need more of it, and I need more of it quickly. It's
Giancarlo Esposito. And
well, Giancarlo Esposito should be like, and I said this on Twitter the other night. We should force Giancarlo Esposito to quietly film 1,000 projects between now and when he perishes.
He's got another one coming out.
So that in 80 years, our children's children will still have Giancarlo Esposito projects to enjoy. Like, my God, that man. And like, he's more subtle in The Gentleman than he is, obviously, like, well, in Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Jesus Christ. Like, there's no subtlety to that. It's just...
He was a Mandalorian, and he was great.
He was in The Boys. He's wonderful in The Boys. Giancarlo Esposito is a genius.
There's a new AMC show on Sunday night called Parish, but it's like the name Parish, like P-A-R.
Okay.
And that's his name, and he's like this hitman's driver. And
if it's got Giancarlo Esposito,
it looks pretty good.
I might even be able to. Now that I know he's in The Mandalorian, maybe I'll. No, probably won't. I'll take that back. I probably won't.
Yeah, you wouldn't regret it.
Jesus,
Mandalorian,
Giancarlo Esposito is a 10.5. Watch The Gentleman. I don't have anything else to say other than watch The Gentleman. It is just outstanding. I don't know how we got there. How did we get? Oh, we was talking about hosting Easter, and then The Gentleman.
And then you were like, "You're the gentleman to everyone in your family."
Is that what it was? I don't know that that's what it was.
I don't know. I think you would just.
I'm very excited. I think maybe I was just looking for an excuse to talk about The Gentleman because it's that. Like, I'm so glad I was able to get through it before baseball season started because it would have been difficult for me, say, next week if my choices were sit down and watch baseball game versus sit down and watch another episode of The Gentleman.
Maybe you'll just rewatch The Gentleman anyway.
It is worth it. It's got everything. Big action sequences.
The Orioles are up 10-0 in the second inning. Game's over.
Time to rewatch. Go back and start it again. I think it was 8 episodes. I was so angry that it was over. Like, I was so angry. Also, in the 8th episode, they build to what you expect to be a huge action sequence, and then they kind of cut away from it. And that part, like, oh, I was so ready. Like, I was so ready. But other than that, man, God, it's good. It's so good. I can't say it enough. It's I don't remember who recommended it to me, but, like, I've never had to say back, you've never been more right about anything in your entire life. In your entire life, you've never been more right about anything. I'll never be more right about anything than when I tell you that you need to get to Atman's Deli.
Ooh.
God, it's just, it's everything. You know, this is the great thing about, doing ads for Atman's Deli. You all know what Atman's Deli is. It's not like I have to introduce anyone to the concept of Atman's Deli because you are quite aware if you have any association whatsoever with this city. If for some reason today, like you're an Illinois fan, you found out that Amani Hansberry was going to be on, and if you're listening from there, then you might not know. But anyone in our region, we are plenty aware of the greatness of Atman's Deli. So now, take that. Take all that delicious, that New York deli vibe, the corned beef piled high, the hand-rolled bagels, the delicious soups, the full pickle bar. Take all of that. All of the goodness, and that feeling of home that you have when you visit Atman's Deli. Now take all of that away from, where it is in your mind and bring it into a location that now includes a full bar and an area for you to hang out, watch the games, spend some time, make an evening out of it right there in Harbor Point. And that's the brand new Atman's Deli. The original Atman's Deli, still there. The brand new Atman's Deli is like an Atman's Deli on steroids. And everything is perfect. Oh, the desserts. The desserts. I always talking about the desserts. AtmansDeli.com is the website. Find out more about their daily specials. Visit Atman's Deli in Harbor Point as you're making your way downtown in the next couple of weeks for baseball games. Are we talking to Amani Hansberry next? Is that
that is the plan to do next.
All right.
Yes.
So, Mount St. Joe's own Amani Hansberry getting ready for the Sweet 16 tonight. We'll chat with him next year on GCR.
The ultimate fan experience awaits you at Sports and Social Maryland. See how we're raising the sports bar with our massive 100-foot media wall featuring 40 HD TVs and a 47-foot big screen. Bet on your favorite teams and this year's biggest events at the FanDuel Sportsbook while enjoying your favorite beers and cocktails, plus our delicious takes on bar food classics. Visit Sports and Social at Live Casino and Hotel Maryland at Arundel Mills. Must be 21. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hungry? With 7 locations throughout Maryland, Glory Days Grill is always right around the corner. They have wings, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and drinks to satisfy everyone, as well as tons of televisions and sound delivered right to your phone. Glory Days is the best place to watch football or whatever your favorite sport is. While you're there, be sure to check out Goose Flight's Lager, named in honor of legendary Raven Tony Goose Siragusa. $2 of every can is donated to the Goose Flights Foundation. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports.
Why bet with the big boys this football season? Instead, try your hand with the local book, Superbook Sports, this fall. Superbook Sports is the book next door. Just a dedicated team of the best odds makers in Las Vegas, making sure you get the best prices and parlays anywhere. And now, Superbook will give you a bonus of up to $250 when you sign up and wager on the same day and use the promo code GlennClark23, GLENNCLARK23. So bet with the best and use the promo code GlennClark23 this football season with Superbook Sports. Visit superbook.com for terms and conditions. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal, too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
The Toyota Tacoma comes in a range of models and trim lines, so you can choose the perfect Tacoma to reflect your unique personality and driving habits. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new Tacomas from your local Toyota dealer today.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Jeremy Kahn here. The ultimate sports betting experience in Maryland is at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook. Join me at either location in Canton or in Towson and place your bets in person and be a part of the action. It's the best in-class sports wagering experience, complete with the ultimate TV package, ensuring you can catch every game all day, every day. Their state-of-the-art facilities bring Las Vegas energy right here to Maryland just in time for postseason football. So visit the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbook in Canton and Towson and elevate your game day experience and hang out with me to bet, watch, and win at the Turtle.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis, ajmichaels.com.
Coming back in here with Glenn and the other guy, Garrett, whatever his name is. You know who they are.
Back in here on GCR as we continue along on an opening day edition of the program. We're getting excited about heading down. Always excited. I told you we're giving away a $200 gift card to Ruth's Chris. And, of course, just saying the words Ruth's Chris just brings a sensation to you, makes you feel a certain way, whether you're celebrating a special milestone or entertaining clients or simply enjoying a night out. Count on Ruth's Chris to deliver to you the finest steaks, the best service, and a level of hospitality that has made Ruth's Chris one of the most revered names in steak since 1965. Make your reservation right now at ruthschris.com. So, we actually had to do this a little bit earlier on because of their schedule, getting ready for a very big game tonight, but an opportunity to catch up with Mount St. Joe's own Amani Hansberry from Illinois right now here on GCR. The NCAA tournament gets back underway tonight as they have moved on to the Sweet 16. And our next guest is playing in his first career NCAA tournament. He is the pride of Mount St. Joe. He's Illinois' Amani Hansberry, and he's with us now here on GCR. Amani, it's Glenn back in Baltimore. It's great to chat with you, man. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
Hey, Amani, first of all, I just got to go work backwards before we work forwards, right? Like, for people that don't know your path, I know you were born down in Montgomery County. I know you associate, though, like, with Baltimore. So give me your, like, path from Silver Spring to Baltimore and ended up at Mount St. Joe.
Okay, well, I grew up in Rockville, Gaithersburg area of Montgomery County. I started my first 2 years of high school in D.C. at St. John's College High School. And then I also, after the first 2 years, I transferred after the COVID year, and I went to Mount St. Joseph with Coach Pat Clatchy for my second 2 years of high school.
And y'all had a lot of success when you were playing with Coach Clatchy at Mount St. Joe.
Yeah, definitely a lot of success.
What was it? Why Mount St. Joe, and why, obviously, Coach has produced an awful lot of really good players over the years, but why was that where you wanted to be to finish up your time as a prep?
I mean, just the winning culture of, Pat Clatchy and just, a lot of his former guys like Phil Booth, just the history they had of, just the success they had there. And plus it was just another, I know it was 50 minutes away from my house, but just the gym access and, all the, the coaching staff and everything at Mount St. Joe's, they were all, took me in with love. And plus I had a childhood, best friend who also went there. So just finishing up my high school career with him and,
Who was that?
Ace Valentine.
Oh, okay, of course, right? And it was obviously another really good player. I noticed in your bio that your favorite teams are the Orioles and Ravens. Like, where that seems weird to me for a kid that was only here for a couple of years. Where did that come from?
My grandfather, he said technically we were closer to Baltimore than, the Nationals and the Redskins. So my two favorite teams were the Ravens and, the Orioles growing up.
All right, well, that's it. We're claiming you as one of our own moving forward then. That's the way it's going to work. You're one of us, Amani. I don't. Do you pronounce the T when you say Baltimore? Or do you understand it's really like a D? How does that?
It's a D to me.
There we go. You're home. Baltimore. You're home. You're one of us.
Yes, sir.
Amani, being in your first NCAA tournament, right? And really this ride that you guys have been on for quite a while. What's it been like for you? What have these experiences been like? Having this first taste of it.
I mean, it's just very once in a lifetime experience. Not many teams, make it this far in a tournament or make it to the tournament in general. So just being able to see it all in my first year, just being on, the winning side of things, that's been huge. And just seeing what it takes to win at, this level has also been huge, especially at my freshman year. I feel like I got a head start past another freshman.
Mount St. Joe's own Amani Hansberry, now with Illinois, is with us here on GCR. Amani, obviously your team was always very good, but this heater that you guys have been on of late through the Big Ten tournament and now pounding teams in the NCAA tournament, where do you think this came from? Like, where did raising your game to this level where people legitimately look and say, oh, this is a team that really could win the national championship, where do you feel like that came from?
I feel like that really just started in the summer. We took a trip to Spain. I feel like we all just, we're connected ever since. And then plus, the time everybody puts in the gym, just to work on their own game. I think that all just, ties together with our success and just, how we've been able to just, pick apart double teams, just make open shots and, just play, hard and just without, thinking.
Have you guys openly talked about winning a national championship throughout the course of the year, or is that too, you've got to stay focused on the one game and you can't think about things that are bigger than that?
I mean, at the beginning of the season, it was definitely one of our two, goals this year, along with, winning the Big Ten title as we did.
Check. Yeah.
So just working towards the second one is just one game at a time for sure. But, we all know, what the end goal is.
I remember a couple of weeks ago you guys came to College Park, and it felt like that one, you guys enjoyed that one a little bit. I know you haven't been around for all of them, obviously, because you're in your first year, but there had been kind of like a negative history. As crazy as it sounds, was that a big deal for Illinois because of, for whatever reason, the fact that they'd struggled against Maryland in recent years?
I mean, yeah, that was a big win. Definitely a game we had marked on our calendar after losing to them early in the year.
Yeah.
At home. So like like you said, it's the pass between like kind of like a little of a rivalry, I'll say. But like just coming in and just playing hard. Just doing what we do to dig out that win. That was huge for us. Just gave us more confidence to be where we are now.
As someone with your size, ability, and pedigree, has it been at all difficult for you, Amani, to like have to accept a role that's not 30 minutes a night, that's not as one of the marquee guys? Has that been a tough thing, or is that something that's easy to do when a team is winning? Like, I'll do whatever to keep winning.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say it's easy, but like it's just my road this year, and my road as a team. I mean, like just we're winning, and just playing your role is just a huge part of the winningness, and just the winning attitude. So just coming here and just not playing 30 minutes a game, and just focus on just getting better. Like that's been a huge aspect of like my thought process throughout the season.
I mean, and I appreciate that, man. Like, it's not easy for everybody to do, but obviously it helps when you guys are rolling the way that you are. What has to keep going right? Like, now you're here now. You're about to play tonight in the Sweet 16. What does it take to now elevate in order? Do you have a sense for that? That like, what will the difference be in order to keep this thing rolling and end up cutting down the nets?
I feel like the clear difference is just, playing hard and just being the team that, just wants it more, diving on the floor for 50-50 balls, getting those rebounds, and the possessions, doing all the little things, making winning plays. I feel like that'll separate us from any other team and, get us to where we want to be, and that is a national championship.
How many dudes from back home have tried reaching out to you like, bro, don't screw up my bracket? Like, how much have you had to deal with that over the course of the last couple of weeks?
I mean, just probably like, not too much, but, the DMs here and there, just my family back home saying they got us winning, going big. Like, there's not a lot of pressure, they don't put too much pressure on me, but they just know, like, they're supporting me and they got my back along the way.
All right, I appreciate that. That's much better than everybody kind of give you grief about it. And we joked about the success that you had at Mount St. Joe, but in a way, do you feel like having played in championship games and won even at that level has maybe helped prepare you for – getting these minutes in the NCAA tournament during the Big Ten tournament, things like that?
Yeah, they definitely helped a lot. Just the experience of things. Just playing at that level, at that stage. Back home, and then I know it's a little bigger of a stage. Going on to the collegiate level, but it just just gives me like a little bit of confidence knowing that I've been in this position before and played something or played for a championship before as well.
No, man. I know it's a small thing, but it feels like just big games. You can't replicate like what those moments are like playing in those big games as you're replaying in more of them. Amani, I know you guys are busy getting ready for a game tonight. I just want to make sure we give everybody back home a reminder. Where can people be giving you a follow on Twitter and on Instagram as you continue to move forward in your career?
You can follow me on Instagram at igb.amani. And on Twitter at IGB_Amani.
IGB.Amani and IGB_Amani. Amani Hansberry, man, so like I said, you're one of us now, right? Like that's just there's no letting it go moving forward. You're a Baltimorean. We've claimed you, and every success that you have, we're claiming as our own moving forward. That's the way it's going to be. Amani, congratulations, man, on everything you guys have done. Best of luck in the Sweet 16 and moving forward. Thank you for taking the time for us.
Thank you so much.
It's Amani Hansberry tonight. They're the second game in their region because it's first San Diego State, UConn, and then Iowa State, Illinois, scheduled to tip off after 10 p.m. tonight. We're not going to stay, I don't think, for the entirety of that game.
Why not?
Well, we'll see how you're doing. If you're winning us money, maybe we'll stay for all of that. Griffin and I are spending a lot of time together. At some point, we might just crash on the couch here and sleep. I don't know if we're going to cuddle or not. We'll see how that goes.
Dibs on that one.
The nice couch?
Yeah.
Well, it's the only couch.
I just dibs it. So.
Oh, yeah. So that's the way it works?
I mean.
Griffin just asked me if I could be back in here at 9 tomorrow morning.
Just you, yes.
Yeah, right. Just me. It's 10 o'clock basketball game you want to stay for the end of. Just ask me if I could be back here. Hey, man, we're good to do 9 a.m. tomorrow, right? No problem, Griffin. You got it, bud. All over it. All right, we continue along on an opening day version of Glenn Clark Radio. Today's show also brought to you by Goose Flights. It's a delicious lager, and it goes to help those in need because the Goose Flights Foundation is providing non-emergency medical transport for those in need. $1.98 from every can of Goose Flights sold goes to the Goose Flights Foundation and the work they're doing to continue on the legacy of the late, great Tony Siragusa. You can find it all over town. Go to PressBoxOnline.com/GooseFlights to see a list of everywhere that Goose Flights is available. We love Goose Flights, and we know you will too. So, why don't we'll go ahead and do our predictions, then we can take a break. All right?
Okay.
So we'll go ahead and get into it. I've got by the way, for the record, I've got the shell up right now at GlennClarkRadio.com for our predictions. So you'll be able to update it like as we go about doing this.
I gotcha.
10 categories.
All right.
10 categories. Where the opportunity to get a point if you get something right, you'll understand as this goes on. 10 categories for Orioles predictions. All right? We begin just with what will... You know what? Why don't we begin with this? We'll begin with on what date do we see Jackson Holliday make his Orioles debut?
Let me pull up the calendar here.
Schedule, you mean?
Yeah, I guess so.
Yeah, you turn around and look at Griffin's got the schedule behind him. By the way, are we doing the thing?
I mean, yeah, I think that would be a good idea.
I'd like to do that.
Okay.
But that requires a little bit of effort.
Okay, then yeah, I mean, yeah.
So we got to get that sign up.
And then that'll be
then,
the thing that we reveal in the opening.
Well, I'm going to say
that's right, you'll do it.
Everybody knows I tweet after the game if the Orioles win.
So it won't be like as ceremonious as the Lamometer.
No. We just, maybe I come in and we put up the face of whoever it was that was the man of the match for the previous game. But maybe we don't hang it up until they actually win a game, right? So if they lose today, we don't hang it up yet.
Okay.
Because it does say never lose ever. Got this never lose ever, so everybody knows that's what I tweet after the Orioles win games.
What is the
genesis of it?
Yes.
There was a year where the Orioles got off to a surprisingly ridiculous start. They won
2012.
Was it 2012?
I don't know. I mean,
I don't remember. Whatever year it was.
I mean, that was the first year I remember them.
But they got off to a
being excited
10-0 start or something like that, and we were and after the fourth game, I was right. So maybe they just never lose. Maybe, we all think it's impossible. That's just because we've never seen it before. Maybe the Orioles just never lose. And so that became a hashtag of never lose ever. And so after wins, I would tweet out never lose ever. And then I think after I started calling soccer games, I really enjoyed the term man of the match. It became one of my favorite terms. It's a soccer term, obviously. I will tell you there's another guy, and I've always wanted to steal it. Dejan Kovacevic, I believe is his name. He's a columnist in Pittsburgh that ended up launching his own website, and he has people if you went to the game, take a picture, and then send me your 3 stars of the game. That's a hockey thing, right? The 3 stars.
Yes.
But he has people do it after Steelers games, after Pirates games, after Pitt basketball games. Take a picture and send me your 3 stars of the game. And I was like, that's cool. Oh, I like that bit. I wish I could have that bit. So instead I've got man of the match. Man of the match is what we do instead. So, we got this big never lose ever banner, and we'll hang it up behind me. And then whoever the man of the match is, we'll put a picture of them up on the banner so them to be recognized the day after they had their performance. So you're looking at the schedule to try to decide when you think Jackson Holliday is going to make his debut.
I think I need to pull up Norfolk's schedule too.
Why does Norfolk's schedule matter?
Where are they at? Is it quickly?
It doesn't matter where they are. They can get him here when they want him here. That's not going to be difficult.
They should.
Yeah.
Monday, April 29th.
Monday, April 29th.
Against the Yankees.
That would be – now, they don't normally need help in selling tickets to Yankees games. But it is a big game. Probably be a big atmosphere. Get a few more Orioles fans there. Monday,
you know what,
April.
actually, can I change it?
I'm not sure how I feel about that. I mean, you said it.
I want to go April 30th instead.
On Tuesday.
Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like it always seems kind of weird how, like, and it's gonna feel like later than it should be. Like they probably could call him up. I mean, they could call him up today, or they should. But
I agree.
But it felt like we were waiting really long for Adley. It felt like maybe Gunnar was kind of one time.
Okay.
But I feel like we're gonna be.
See, now this
we're begging for it, and they're just gonna be like, all right, today's the day.
The problem here.
It's a random day. I would basically throw it a dart.
If I were a jerk, what I would do is I would just take the day afterwards, because then I would get the rest of the season and I would be closer. But I'm going to be the original date that I had written down is after.
You think it's much later?
Not much later, but later. I had written down May 13th against the Blue Jays. That was the date
that I had. If it is in April, I'm good.
Yeah, if it's in April, you're good. Correct. And I would say the first couple days of May, you'd still be good. So you got that benefit. But anything after, like, May 7th, and now you're going to be a loser on
May
that one.
13th is your day?
May 13th is a Monday against the Blue Jays. That's what I've got for my date that I think we see
I don't
Jackson
really need
Holliday.
help selling tickets against the Blue Jays.
I mean, what? You have you're keeping track of this?
Yes,
All right,
am.
very
Yes,
good.
I have April 30. All
right. Orioles' final record. So again, we don't want to be cheap on this. So write something down. Okay. Don't just. I'm gonna go with that. Total wins, I guess, is all we need to say here.
Yeah.
So your win total for the Orioles is
97.
Ooh. I've got 92.
Okay.
92
right.
is my
Wow,
win
you
total
hate
for
them.
the Baltimore. Yes, I clearly hate the Orioles. I think they're going to win 92 games in the most difficult division in baseball. Obviously, I hate the Orioles. I think the bullpen is the problem, and I think that's just the way that it goes. And so I'm dealing with it. Will they win the AL East? Simple yes or no question. Will they win the AL East?
I like the writing down thing, and then we reveal.
Man, we can't get closer on this one.
I'm gonna say yes, they do.
Yeah, we did this last week with Stan. We both agreed that they were going to win the AL East, so that one should not be as difficult. 2024 Orioles MVP. The team MVP will be. I'll write that one down as well.
Okay.
I'll write that one down. Team MVP for the 2024 Baltimore Orioles. Of course, it was Adley Rutschman 2 years ago, Gunnar Henderson last year. Who will the team MVP be?
Sensing a theme.
For the hot rookie ends up winning team MVP?
Yeah.
Though it would have been Felix Bautista.
Connor Norby probably?
That's what you thinking. I don't know if Connor Norby will ever be a Baltimore Oriole. What you got?
I got Corbin Burns.
I also have Corbin Burns. Kind of disappointing.
I know. Maybe.
Kind of disappointing the way that worked out. That one ends up being a wash. Who among qualified hitters will lead the Orioles in hitting? Batting average specifically. Among qualified hitters, who leads the team in batting average this season?
Batting average.
Mm-hmm.
Not like balls in play.
Not BABIP.
Not BABIP.
No. Who leads? Who is the Orioles leading?
Not like weighted runs created.
Not weighted runs created.
Plus.
No, not VORP. None of those things.
I saw one Eno Saris that did yesterday. He did womps per whiff. WPW.
What is it?
It's womps per whiff.
What is womps?
So it's like a womp is apparently a barrel, I think. So it's how many times you barrel per how many times you swing and miss.
Okay, how about that?
It's a
womps
per whiff. That was from Eno Saris. I saw yesterday. So we don't want to do the womp per whiff leader.
No, I'm just gonna do traditional.
These archaic, generic statistics.
Right, I know. What's wrong with me? Traditional.
Who's gonna go 1 for 4 the most?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Go ahead.
I'll go Gunnar.
Yeah, Gunnar as well. So this ends up being a wash, too. Maybe we need to change some of these so we don't have as many wash.
Maybe if we do Bob Bipp.
All right, so how about this? We change it. What is Gunnar Henderson's batting average this season?
That's good. That's a good
better.
one.
I like that. So scratch what was on there. What is Gunnar Henderson's batting average this season? All right, so let's go. Okay. What do you have?
293.
288 is what I've got for Gunnar Henderson. 288 to lead the team in hitting. So you're good anything 291 and above.
Yeah.
I'm good anything 290 and below. And I'm a winner on that
rooting
one.
against him.
Yeah, right.
Wow.
Late in this season.
Wow.
Strike out, Gunnar! I'll scratch the next one, too, because we both just say Corbin Burns. So let's go. What will Corbin Burns' ERA be? What will Corbin Burns' ERA be for the 2024 season? You're confident. You've got a quick answer on this one. I'm struggling a little bit on this.
Trying to think here.
Because it was elevated a little bit last year.
Yeah. Now you're making me
And
guess
now-
mine. I'm gonna stick with it.
But he is a right-handed pitcher pitching in Camden Yards now.
He is really good too.
He is Corbin Burns. I'm not sure if you're aware of his work. All right, what you got?
I got 262.
Oh, boy. I went 3.20.
Okay.
Wow. You are
He's Cy Young right here.
You are bullish. Well, by the way, it sets up that if it's like 2.93, I could still win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna need him to be really good.
Yeah, you're going to need him to be outstanding.
You said 320, is that what you said?
320.
320.
Yeah.
All right.
Remember, the loser, and it's a point system for what we're doing. So the loser, whoever gets the fewest points.
I'm hoping this comes down to we got to do
We'll have to
like the 100,000th of
in order to get
the
exactly what it is. That is the full math.
Yeah.
The loser will have to consume a personal pepperoni and cicada pizza at the end of the season. That's what's at stake here. Just a traditional pie. Mine will be cauliflower crust. Griffin can do whatever he wants to do, but red sauce, mozzarella, pepperoni, cicadas. That's what it's going to be. All right?
You're going to hate this.
Oh, you think you're so confident that it's going to be me. That's very weird. So we're making our Orioles-specific predictions. Next question. Does any player sign a multi-year extension before the end of the baseball season? So playoffs included. Before the end of the World Series, does any Baltimore Orioles sign a multi-year extension? And if so, for a bonus point, who?
We can't lose a point for
the bonus point.
Okay.
No. The question is a yes or no. You get a point if you get it correct. You don't. You just don't get the point if.
What if we think multiple players?
If, by the way, if you guess no, you can still guess who for the bonus point. So even if you get it wrong,
gotta hedge yourself a little bit.
You can get a bonus point. Exactly right.
You gotta be on the button though. Yeah.
Correct. You have to get exactly who it is. So I'm going to say
Ramon Arias.
It would have to be a multi-year extension. Remember, a multi-year
Okay.
extension is what we're talking about. That's what's at stake.
I'm worried this might be boring.
Well, I mean, we're both still gonna guess someone, don't if we say no.
Yeah, I'm gonna. Yeah, all right. I'm locked in here.
You're locked in.
Yeah,
locked in. You say.
I'll give you the date.
Wow. All right, hang on a second.
I'll give you the figures.
Whoa. I better tell you what. If you nail that, if you get the date and the figures exactly right, I'll give you one more bonus point.
Really?
Look how.
The date,
look how.
the date and the figures.
The date and the figures exactly correct. Then I will give you one additional bonus point. Look at the gentleman that I am over here. I should be on that show, The Gentleman. All right. I'm saying no. Are you?
No, I'm gonna say yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, who you got?
I believe it's going to be Adley.
Yeah, so that's the boring part about this is that like the only one that you think there's even a chance for is Adley. So I will say no, but then I'll say Adley. I was trying to think if there was anybody else that like you could squint and say, oh, like I'll give you an example. So there's some world where like Jordan Westberg were to sign an extension. I just don't see it. Like I just don't see it. I think the real question becomes, do any of the veterans who are approaching free agency sign an extension? I think that's, to me, like the really interesting part of this conversation
like
is
Austin Hayes.
Anthony Santander would be we know that there's two outfielders that we believe are big-time parts of the plan in Cowser and Kjerstad, although Kjerstad's not even here still. But there would still presumably be one more outfield spot available. So do they commit to one of that group of three and say, in this future world, we see you still as being part of this? And presuming that Kjerstad's a right fielder, presuming that Cowser's a center fielder, Austin Hayes would be like the guy that you would sit there and say, maybe there's a path to Austin Hayes getting like a 4-year deal. But this year, he's not a free agent until the end of the following year. I think they try to go bold. If it's about Rubenstein making a statement, and I'll stick it out. I'll say no, but if they do, it's Adley. Be a big opportunity for you to get both points here if it ends up being Adley.
Yes, I think it's Adley, and it'll be July 14th.
Okay.
For 7 years, $160.
Okay.
$32.5 million signing bonus.
Phew. What did Will Smith get?
I know he got a $30 million signing bonus. He got
10 years though.
And it was about.
He got banned from the Academy Awards, is what he got. Will Smith contract. 10 years, $140 million for Will Smith. Now, Adley Rutschman, we think, is better than Will Smith.
Mm-hmm. Maybe I'm a little. Maybe 160 is a lot. No. Stick with it.
All right.
160 here.
7 years, $160 million. I'm telling you, if you get all of that right, the date and the details of the extension, one additional bonus point.
One additional point.
If it's on July 15th,
nothing.
And it's 7 years, $160 million.
$32.5 million signing bonus.
Nothing. Literally nothing. If you get July 4th, what is it? You said July 14th, right?
Yes.
Date? And it's a $32.6 million signing bonus. Sorry.
Rubenstein's just going to go ahead and be like, what did he say?
Yeah, just to screw with that guy.
I'll give him $100 extra.
$100,000 more. I want to see him eat a cicada pizza. All right, we're making our Orioles predictions right now. Next on the list, we just talked about this, are any of the veterans traded away? And again, for a bonus point, if so, who? Are any of the veterans? Maybe we go in reverse order on this one. No, well, it's fine. Are any of the veterans traded away? And if so, who?
It's because we're just talking about Austin Hayes being, a good.
Maybe there's a path for him, right?
Yeah.
But there also might mean that there's some value for Austin Hayes that there isn't for someone else.
And then
and like the guy that would make the most sense to trade away would be Anthony Santander. But like then who's your power hitter in the middle of the lineup? Go ahead.
So I'm gonna say no.
Okay.
I was going back and forth maybe between like if they do find someone that's willing for you're not gonna get a big return, but it'd be like a Mateo or an Arias or something like that, and that would that count as a.
That would count. They are a veteran. They could be traded away, so I would let that count.
I'm still gonna
but they got to be traded. Like it's not a
waive or
right. Like they got to legitimately be traded for. I would say in order for it to count, that you have to acquire. It can't be for a player to be named later, right? Or cash.
Okay.
It has to be someone traded for a baseball player. No. Okay. All right. Now, if so, who?
Go Austin Hayes.
Austin Hayes is your answer. If they trade away a veteran, that seems bold. No is also my answer. If so, I'm torn because I feel like I can hedge myself a little bit. What if things don't go the way that you expect them to this season?
Oh, man.
Then
put that out there?
Well, I'm hedging, right? Like, then they'd absolutely be looking to trade Corbin Burns, right, in July. They'd absolutely be looking to trade Santander in July if things don't go the way that you expect. So I'm struggling. I'm struggling with that. I'm also struggling with the guy that's here, that's on the team, that if he starts playing well, maybe locks down a position, is Cowser. And if he does, then Cedric Mullins would be the guy that's vulnerable, right? Like, this is where things get really sticky. But I'm throwing in a wild card.
Okay.
Wild card bitches. Ryan Mountcastle.
Ryan Mountcastle gets traded.
If so, I'm saying no.
Okay.
But if so, Ryan Mountcastle. Just because you always believe you can find a Ryan Mountcastle type. That could be Kobe Mayo next year, right? Could be Kobe Mayo before the year is over. That the skill set is not unique, and I like Ryan Mountcastle, and obviously Ryan Mountcastle, we all owe him an apology because we had all written him off last year and ended up being a monster. But I just don't see any world in which Ryan Mountcastle is part of the long-term plans in Baltimore. And if there was another team that was interested in Ryan Mountcastle, I could see them saying, look, if you can help us out with a bullpen arm, we'll give you Ryan Mountcastle, because it's just nothing unique enough about his skill set to think that you couldn't replace Ryan Mountcastle. So doesn't really help with your outfield glut, but it might maybe move Anthony Santander, perhaps, if you want to keep Anthony Santander around because of his versatility. Like, he could be a first baseman that you could actually have play in the outfield moving forward. If you decide that you want to keep him around, maybe give him an extension. I'll go wild card Ryan Mountcastle. If I don't think one will be traded, but if one is, that'll be my gut.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess I don't think they're trading anyone either. But if they did, I feel like just because of how crowded the outfield is now.
I understand it. I understand the thought process.
Trying to pick one of those guys, I feel like Austin Hayes.
I get it. I completely
feel
get it.
Like a jerk,
No, I didn't. You don't want to talk about any of these guys that way. They're all important parts of what the Orioles have done, but they're not all going to be around in 2 years. Do they make one of these decisions during the year? Again, neither one of us went with a pending free agent, so that's the weird part about it. Now, I covered my ad. Again, if I really wanted to hedge, the bet would be take Santander or Burns in case things go badly.
Unwell.
Because if that's the case, they're going to move those guys, right? They're definitely going to move Burns. They may or may not. I mean, I guess there's some world in which they could still try to extend Santander if they wanted to keep him around. But if things are going badly, I don't know why you'd be looking to try to extend Santander. Still. All right, those are my guesses. We're in the middle of making our Orioles predictions for 2024. Don't forget, Stan the Fan, Ross Grimsley, Luke Jackson get together every Monday. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. If you miss it live, you can watch it at YouTube.com/PressBoxOnline or PressBoxOnline.com/video. Stan, Ross, and Luke talking baseball every Monday, and then later in the week, Stan and Eric Garfield always get together. I do not know what Stan's plans are for. He didn't do the show last night. Maybe they're doing it later tonight after the baseball game.
Yeah.
I just realized he never told me. He normally emails me and gives me that information. I guess I'm no longer on get the inside scoop. I'm no longer part of the inner circle when it comes to Stan's plans. But Stan and Eric Garfield as well talking baseball every week. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. Next, what type of player do the Orioles acquire at the trade deadline?
A good one.
Thank you. You know what I'm talking about. And for a bonus point, who might it be? If any, because you can say none. You can say they don't make a significant acquisition at the trade deadline. I also think this could be the first answer could be boring. That's why we needed to have the second part. I think we all are going to agree about what type of player they need to acquire.
Yeah. Yeah.
And by the way, when I say deadline, I would say this would include anything starting June 1st.
Okay.
And I've got someone. I've got a name.
Yeah, I think I've got a name too.
Okay.
It's all right.
Okay.
I'll go first.
Yep.
I think it's going to be a reliever,
Mm-hmm.
Emmanuel Clase.
That's a bold trade.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
it is.
Where was I recently that we were talking about Emmanuel Clase?
Who were we talking? We were talking about it with somebody.
I swear,
Was it? It wasn't.
No, I can't.
Was it?
You were there.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, well, were you there? I swear to God, I just had. Where was I on?
You're
no.
Talking like
no.
recently off air.
I'm telling all. I think it might have been Tuesday. Ben Hall and I might have been having a conversation about Clase. And then he and I ended up talking about somebody else, and I am all in on this one. But
you cheated. Ben just gave you the answer.
No, he didn't give me the answer. We were just talking about different options, and this was one that I hadn't thought a lot about, but I like it. Jason Foley from the Detroit Tigers. Now, the difficult part about making a trade with the Tigers is they might not be out of it. Like, that division is bad. And the Tigers kind of have you look at their roster and you're like,
both won AL Central.
They're better than you think they are. Like
yeah, yeah. I mean,
exactly what you just said. There's like no reason to think the Tigers will be good, but then look at their roster. So their rotation starts with Skubal and Maeda, and then maybe Casey Mize becomes a thing.
Yep.
Jack Flaherty's there too.
Matt Manning, right? Is that the?
Oh, I forgot about Matt Manning.
First-round pick.
Then in their lineup, you have a Riley Green, you have Spencer Torkelson.
He might be starting in the minors. That's why I think Manning.
Okay.
Yeah.
You have Javi Baez. You have Colt Keith now. Like, you look and you say,
well, Javi Baez.
I get it. But he's still, like, I can't completely write it off and say there's no way that Javi Baez doesn't have a good season. Gio Urshela's there now.
Oh.
Like, you start looking at him and saying, should we be more bullish about the Tigers? Like, part of this is I think we're doing this with every team in the AL Central. Like, that division's bad. Should we be more of the belief that the Royals can be competitive, that the Tigers can be competitive? Should be thinking along those lines. Anybody but the White Sox, really. Like, anybody in that division besides the White Sox potentially could be competitive. And it's not like the White Sox have nothing. They still have Luis Robert and Eloy Jimenez and
Gavin Sheets.
Okay, that's about it. That's what they've got. That's really about what they have that's of any value.
Yeah, that is.
But
Yohan Moncada, is he still there?
Yeah, he is still there. Is Benintendi still there?
I don't think Benintendi. He might.
I just realized maybe they have more than I. Yeah, Benintendi's still there. Moncada's still there. Oh, Andrew Vaughn. Oh, crap. They actually have some players.
Oh, they got that Garrett Crochet.
Crochet and Soroka, and that's about all they have pitching-wise.
Kopech had some excitement at one point.
So the problem with making a trade with a team in the AL Central is it might just be that none of them are out of it by July 31st. But James Foley's got a hell of an arm and feels like the exact type of pitcher that you add in. I would be surprised if they are committed to it being a different. Like, Craig Kimbrell would have to have completely failed. They spent actual money on Craig Kimbrell. It would have to be a failure for them to be specifically eyeing a closer.
Jason Foley.
What did I say?
I believe you said two different.
Did I?
think
I definitely said Jason Foley to start. It's Jason
you did?
Foley.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Jacob, and then you said James.
No, I might have said James. Yeah, I might have said James at one point because I knew a guy named James Foley in elementary school. And I did this with, oh, God, there was a lacrosse player at Maryland who was named, oh, Christ. Now I'm going to confuse which one was which. I believe the lacrosse player was Justin Walters. And hang on a second. Let me make sure I have this right. Joe Walters. Joe Walters was a great lacrosse player at Maryland. I mean, like a legend. I went to elementary school with a kid named Jeremy Walters. And so every time I was talking about Maryland lacrosse, I would always reference Jeremy Walters, their superstar player. And somebody would be like, who? It's Joe Walters. But I've never been able to file that away correctly in my mind because every time I do, it's Jeremy Walters again. And that's the way I am with Jason Foley. It could be a problem for a long time. But Jason Foley is the guy that I'm going with.
Yeah, I guess
Jason Foley.
Yeah, I mean, they got to.
It'd be look, if the Guardians come down on the price for Clase,
and they've
all
got
in,
so much in this farm system.
I hear you, but what the asking price was because of Clase's deal is so favorable that it's just hard for me to believe they're going to start backing down on what they're asking for. And with the Orioles, again, unless Kimbrel implodes, and if Kimbrel implodes, is that somebody important?
It might be.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, all right. Well, yeah, sure. We like him. If Kimbrel implodes, then presumably you've asked for someone else at that point. Presumably, at that point, that you are turning the job over to Yennier Cano. Like, it would have to be a failure from everyone in order for you to get to that point. So I just don't know that it's going to be a closer. Now, I'm not opposed to having 2 closers on the team for what it's worth, but that's just me. All right. I think we have one more, right?
We do have one more.
One more?
You want to talk to Ross Grimsley in like 3 minutes?
Oh, it's Ross is who it was.
Yes.
I thought it said something else on your phone.
Oh, okay.
All right. I love Ross. Don't get me wrong. I love Ross, and I'm happy to chat with him. But I thought it was somebody else. Okay. When you held it up, it looked like I was actually excited because it looked like.
What do you mean? What are you saying about Ross?
No, I love Ross. That's my guy. Everybody knows that's my guy. But it looked my old eyes.
Gotcha.
I thought it said that, and I was like,
okay.
oh yeah, great. I would have been very excited for that, but I love.
Maybe he'll call too.
Don't get me wrong. You could have just said that on the air. You could have said, "No, that's Ross."
Okay.
We didn't need to hide the identity of. He's one of us. Love him. That's our guy. We'll let Ross check in a minute. We'll run all this by him. All right. How does the season end? That's the final. So you understand what I'm asking. You get a point here if.
I think we'll be happy.
The result in what round? So the answers are. Miss playoffs, lose in wild card round, lose in divisional round, lose in LCS, lose in World Series, win World Series. So there's 6 options that are on the table.
I mean, yeah, I'm gonna be. I mean, I can't pick it any other way. I think they're really good this year. I think they're gonna win the World Series.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah, they win the World Series.
Very good, very good.
Gordon Bird has a 2.62 ERA.
Right, that's true. They're gonna be in great shape. I'm not gonna change on what I picked. I don't know how confident I am, but I'm not gonna change what I picked when we did this with Stan last week. Losing in the World Series is what I had the Orioles doing. The Braves is the World Series.
They're pretty good. Yeah,
they are very good. They have a lot everywhere. So those are our predictions for the 2024 Baltimore Orioles. We'll see what Ross Grimsley thinks when he joins us next. If you haven't picked up the new print issue of Press Box yet, make sure you do that. You can head out to your neighborhood Royal Farms, any of the hundreds of locations around town where you find Press Box. You can read it all at PressBoxOnline.com. On the cover, it is our dive into the 2024 Baltimore Orioles. So go pick up this print issue of Press Box today for free at your neighborhood Royal Farms. If you joined us late, we started early today at 9:30. We'll get the whole show up. I know we didn't give you a ton of heads up. I think I tweeted something out late last night that we decided that we would split the difference and make it 9:30, so Griffin and I would have a little bit more time to get downtown ourselves today and enjoy some of the festivities ahead of opening day. You hear him every Monday with Stan and Ross. And no, he is Ross. Every Monday with Stan and Luke. He is our friend, Orioles legend, and the coolest guy I know. He's Mr. Ross Grimsley, and he's back with us now here on GCR. Ross, what's going on, brother? How are you? It's been too long.
I'm good, buddy. Talk to me, man. What's happening?
Everything is good, man. It's opening day. Life is good here. I mean, the weather's not great, but other than that, like, they're going to play baseball, and we're all fired up. There's a new owner in town. What's not to be excited about right now, Ross?
Exactly, man. It's a lot of good things happening. You know, they got a lot of guys coming back from last year in that 100-game win season, which is outstanding. So hopefully they can, they can pick up where they left off. It looked like they did in spring training. They did real well in the spring, and most people look at that as, you're just trying to get ready. But these guys want to win. They go out and they play even in spring training hard. So that's a good sign. They do a lot of things well. At the minor league level, I have a couple of buddies that are scouts that have the Orioles, and they talk about that a lot. That they do a lot of things that the other clubs don't do, they're on the field. They're working on fundamentals. Another great thing I was told the other day is it was real windy here, so they got the machine out and was having fly balls. And that's something that you got to do. But they work on a lot of things. They do a lot of things very well. Got a lot of talent to boot, so that's a good sign.
Ross, we know they're good, but, like, we are getting carried away. Like, Griffin and I both just had them. We did our predictions, and we both just said they're going to be in the World Series this year. Is there danger that we're getting too carried away? We know they're good, but is it realistic that this is a team that, as constructed, can win a World Series this year?
You know, that's – man, you hope so. You would think they have a chance of getting, but you saw – last year they got in the playoffs, and one of the things you got to worry about, they got there by just being themselves basically and not trying to do too much. They get in the playoffs, they try to do that little bit extra. As a pitcher, you try to do a little bit more. You're not as your command's not as good, and I think that's what happened. They got in and thought they had to do more than they needed to do, and it took away from their effectiveness. So, is it unreasonable to think of a World Series? I think being in the playoffs last year, their first taste of that, hopefully they learned something. They may not go, the odds of going to the World Series are very, are tough. But, it's a learning process. I mean, they're learning how to win. They're learning how to play together. And for a bunch of young guys, they have come a long way in a short period of time. And they're always learning. And the big thing, how's the pitching gonna end up? And as you've seen in the past, usually August and September, the bullpen gets wore out. And that's with just about every club because they use them a lot because the starters don't go any length, 6, 7, 8 innings. And you get that out of the starters, your bullpen will be much fresher and, they can go deeper into the playoffs.
So that's, I think, my biggest concern, right, Ross? Like, I still think that in some way we don't respect how truly historic what it was that Felix Bautista was doing last season. Like, the strikeout rate, like, I mean, is borderline unprecedented. There's a couple of guys, Aroldis Chapman at his peak, that had touched that. But it's still almost no one was striking out cats at the rate that Felix Bautista was a year ago and shortening the game the way that he was. I have no disrespect towards Craig Kimbrell, who has accomplished so many things in this game, but at this point in his career, I don't think he can be Felix Bautista. I certainly don't think you can use him like you did Felix Bautista a year ago. I am nervous about what that could mean. Your point is well taken. The starting pitching, the presence of Corbin Burns, perhaps that helps things, but I'm still a little nervous, Ross, about the back end of the bullpen going into the season.
Well, yeah, I mean, obviously Kimbrell's not going to be able to do what he did in the past when he was younger. He's, got more innings in. They're going to have to pick their spots back to back. I doubt you'll see a whole lot of that, but that just means somebody else in the bullpen is going to have to pick up the slack. And, and I think there's a few guys that can do that. But I think Kimbrell will be fine. You just can't use him, on a day-to-day basis very often because that will really wear him out. But it's, like I said, some other guys are going to have to step up, and they're very capable of doing that, I think.
He is Ross Grimsley. He's with us here on GCR on opening day as we get ready for Orioles Angels this afternoon. Ross, the Corbin Burns it factor, right? Like that. What does it do for the entirety of a baseball team? Like he's going to go out and he's going to put up numbers. We expect he's going to be good, but how much more does it matter than just what the numbers he puts up? What does it do for a team to have that type of guy at the top of your rotation?
Yeah, well, he's going to go out and give you 5 or more innings. Usually, he's not going to want to come out of the game, and that is something I think that I don't think people realize. I mean, people in the game, real baseball people understand that give me the ball, I'm going to be out there. He's kind of seems to be like an old school type guy. I'm going to take the ball, and you're going to have to take it away from me because I'm going to fight you tooth and nail. That's the manager and the pitching coach he's talking to.
Yeah.
But when some of the other pitchers see this, it becomes a competition, hopefully, because he's going to go out and give you, say, 6 or 7 innings. Next guy's going to go, you know what, I'm going to do that too. And then the next guy. And they just feed off of each other. So I think he brings a lot more unseen positive things to a pitching staff and a team, because they're going to go out there and know, just like with Bradish, they went out there, we're in the game. We're going to be in the game. We just got to find a way to, get that extra run to beat the other team. But when a pitcher is going to give you quality innings and keep you in the ball game, that's so important.
What about, we saw in the second half, Grayson Rodriguez, finally really look like the guy that we all believed he was going to be. And I feel like if not for Corbin Burns' presence, we'd be thinking about the possibility of Grayson Rodriguez becoming that top-of-the-rotation guy this year. What did you see from him that was different when he got back up last year? And how bullish are you about him still being able to be that top-of-the-rotation guy that we've been thinking he was capable of being for years?
Yeah, I mean, one of the things I know before, just watching what little I got a chance to do that, his command was not as good as you would have hoped. Fastball command, because everything goes off the fastball. He was just inconsistent with location, fall behind, and have to throw the ball over the plate. And I don't care who you are, you get behind the count, and you got to throw it over. You're usually going to go with your best pitch, which is a fastball, to throw a strike. But when he came back up, he was able to locate it better, locate his off-speed pitches better. And when he got ahead, not throw that cookie down the middle of the plate, he was able to locate it. So going down, he really worked on the things he needed to work on that was short. And, every year as a pitcher, you learn how to adjust because the hitters are going to adjust to you. Then you learn how to readjust. And then after it becomes a game and a game. But being able to throw, and that's one of the things the Oriole pitchers that I think they stress in the organization is throw strikes.
Yeah.
Throw quality pitches. When you get ahead, try to make that good pitch, but get the hitters out as quick as you can. But go at them. Don't mess around. Go at the hitters, and they've had a lot of success doing that, I think.
I think that had a lot to do with it, and I am looking forward to seeing what's next. All right, Ross Grimsley. Well, give me, just in general, besides the Orioles, what are you most excited to see as the season gets underway?
Well, obviously, you want to see Ohtani. He's he's a special guy. But it's going to be interesting with I think the National League West with the San Diego and the Dodgers. That's going to be interesting.
Well, look at how Arizona's loaded up now, right? As they had Jordan Montgomery this week.
Exactly. Yeah, people spending some cash and stuff, but there's the bickering with the Players Association and the players. There's some interesting things going on that you just kind of go, wait, let's see what's going to happen here, and hopefully it doesn't take away from the game, and they can get that done by keeping it out of the media. That's a big thing, I think, because it takes away from what's going on. So I hopefully they can get all that taken care of and not interfere with the game.
And everything good in your world, my friends?
I'm getting ready to go play golf at 2 o'clock. So it was a little overcast. It rained a little bit.
Real rough life.
The weather's been great. We're going to take advantage of it.
Real rough life you got down there, Ross Grimsley. Hey,
I hear you.
I love you. Always appreciate you, brother. Let's talk again real soon, all right?
Anytime, buddy. Anytime.
Thanks, Ross. Ross Grimsley.
Okay.
With us here on GCR. And, of course, every Monday, he's Stan and Luke. Facebook.com/PressBoxSports. We'll come back in. We'll get a tidbit. We'll get tubular, and we'll wind things down so Griffin and I can make our way downtown. Making our way downtown. I don't remember the words. Homebound. I need you. I miss you. And now I wonder if I could fall. I don't remember all the lyrics, but we'll go downtown. Anyway. Into the sky. Did you think time would pass me. But I think I'm close to the lyrics. I don't think I have them right. But I'd walk 1,000 miles if I could just come back in and wrap things up for a Thursday edition of GCR.
Hey, it's Jeremy Kahn. This postseason, bet in person at the Green Turtle Bet Park Sportsbooks with locations in Canton and in Towson, and enjoy the best in-class sports wagering experience at their state-of-the-art facilities, bringing an unmatched sports betting thrill.
Gambling can be a fun and entertaining experience, but there are risks involved. If you're planning on betting on the game at the casino or on your phone or computer, know your limit, stay within it. Set a budget and a time to stop. Remember, gambling isn't a financial solution, and it doesn't mix well with alcohol or drugs. Know the risks and have a plan before you begin gambling. For free and confidential services, call 1-800-GAMBLER 24/7 or go to helpmygamblingproblem.org.
Discover one of Baltimore's hidden gems at Guilford Hall Brewery. Enjoy dinner in our spacious brew pub, sip a signature cocktail in our outdoor dog-friendly beer garden, or take a tour of our brewery. Discover your new favorite local craft beer. From crisp lagers to hoppy ales, there's something for everyone to enjoy. Pair your brew with delicious appetizers and entrees. There are options for the whole family, but you have to try our fan-favorite giant pretzel. Guilford Hall Brewery, where every sip is a celebration. Visit us online at guilfordhall.com.
Make the most out of every day in your Toyota RAV4. Available in hybrid or gas-only models. A RAV4 can get you where you want to go in style. Check out buyatoyota.com for deals on new RAV4s from your local Toyota dealer today.
6 chicken tenders made from fresh, never frozen Royal Farms world-famous chicken, a family-sized order of Western fries, honey mustard dipping sauce, and a 2-liter bottle of Dr. Pepper. It's Royal Farms' new Tucker's Tenders Meal. It's Justin Tucker's favorite, and at only $19.99, it'll be your favorite meal too. The new Tucker's Tenders Meal, available only at Royal Farms. Now you can kick back, relax, and eat like a champion. Real fresh, real fast, Royal Farms.
Craving that classic New York deli experience? Look no further than the new Atman's Deli in Baltimore's Harbor Point. Corned beef piled high, hand-rolled bagels, and something different. A bar! Atman's has food and drink specials every day. Now open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Dine in, grab takeout, or hang out at the bar for the next O's game. Atman's Deli, an authentic taste of Baltimore tradition since 1915. Find us at Harbor Point or visit atmansdeli.com.
What company has the expertise to make your home healthier by purifying your air and killing all viruses, allergens, and bacteria? A.J. Michaels, Heating and Air Conditioning in Baltimore and Annapolis. AJMichaels.com.
Hungry? With 7 locations throughout Maryland, Glory Days Grill is always right around the corner. They have wings, burgers, salads, sandwiches, and drinks to satisfy everyone, as well as tons of televisions and sound delivered right to your phone. Glory Days is the best place to watch football or whatever your favorite sport is. While you're there, be sure to check out Goose Flights Lager, named in honor of legendary Raven Tony Goose Siragusa. $2 of every can is donated to the Goose Flights Foundation. Glory Days Grill. Great food, good sports.
One of the things that's definitely wrong with this country is that this dude still has a job somehow, some way. Glenn Clark.
All right, winding down for a Thursday edition of the program, and then we're going to get out of here and head to enjoy the festivities ourselves. Let's get a tidbit, shall we? We don't have to cover anything else, right? David Rubenstein is meeting with the media today. Unfortunately, it's just like getting underway right now, so I'm not really sure that I'm going to be able to react to any of it until tomorrow, and by that point, we'll just probably be talking about the baseball game. But it will be interesting to see if he addresses the payroll topic specifically, which, again, might have already addressed in that conversation you had with Ryan Ripken, but I just haven't had a chance to watch that yet either because I'm doing a million things this week. But that's the only thing that I kind of would still like to know. I like everything else he said so far. I don't care about the hashtags. I don't care. The next chapter, that stuff will never do anything for me. I don't work for the team. But what?
Next chapter. I like that.
That's their thing now is the next chapter. And I get it. It's fine. It's great. But, like, we're all excited about the team. You needed a hashtag when the team was bad. I said that then. When the team was going to be bad, but we knew there was a purpose. You needed a hashtag. Look at how it worked. The Philadelphia 76ers have done nothing. They have won no championships. But yet trust the process is still part of the cultural zeitgeist.
Okay.
When you're going to be bad, You need a hashtag. You need a motto. You need something that reminds people of why it is they're going through the misery. Now, you're good. We don't need a hashtag. Just go win. That's it. Al Davis, baby. Just win. That's it. But they're doing it. God bless them. I just want to know the answer about uniquely the payroll. Are you willing, because you're not going to get team-friendly deals with these guys anymore, are you willing to spend beyond that in order to try to keep these guys around? That's the one question that I would still like to know an answer to. Tidbit.
J.K. Dobbins is in Los Angeles.
But signing?
No. Not yet, but I just,
visiting?
Yeah, should we be upset?
Which Los Angeles?
The other Harbaugh.
So they've already got Gus Edwards.
It's the Greg Roman.
They're going to do all of it? They're going to bring back the entire Ravens backfield?
Well, they haven't done anything officially yet, but yeah, that's the
Where did Austin Eckler end up? I already forgot. I swear to God, I already forgot. Is it Washington? Did he go to Washington?
Yes. Yes, he did.
Depending on if they have a competent quarterback, like that could be an interesting. I just don't know.
There's going to be a lot of this season, I think.
What?
Eckler, he's in Washington. Yeah.
Well, I mean, like, everybody remembered Saquon went to Philly and Derrick Henry went to Baltimore because they were significant, right? But like then Eckler, who's a significant player, went to a less significant team. Josh Jacobs, I think everybody remembers, went to the Packers because we were all kind of. Where did Aaron Jones go? I've already forgotten that. Vikings. That's right.
Kind of weird.
That is.
Yeah, he's in Minnesota.
And
now you're gonna admit.
And Pollard went to the Titans, right?
He was the first.
No, we don't. We don't need this. Today's not the day for this. Pick a different day. We'll do this on that day. Not today. It's opening day.
Yeah, he's Minnesota. Aaron Jones.
Countysports.zone.
Saquon, where is he?
Philly. I said that 20 seconds ago.
I just want to make sure.
I just said it. Countysports.zone, presented by your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. It's where you get all the information about spring high school sports, lacrosse, baseball, softball, schedules, scores, pick 'em, all there. Countysports.zone, brought to you by your local Toyota dealer. Tidbit.
Jackson Churio, who is going to be debuting with the Milwaukee Brewers today, when he is starting on opening today, when he's in the lineup, whenever that becomes official. Actually, that's gonna be tomorrow. Darn it, I forgot.
All right.
Postponed. But when Churio is in the lineup, he'll be 20 years and 18 days tomorrow.
Okay.
So he, in the divisional era, so this is since 1969, he will be only the 5th youngest player to ever start on opening day, and the 4 younger players are it's pretty good company for Jackson Churio here. In 1974, he joined an 18-year-old, also Milwaukee Brewer,
Robin Yount.
Yes. And then in 1989, actually, Yount. Okay, so Yount's only he's the 3rd youngest because Yount's only list twice because he was 19 years old. Then the following season.
That's pretty funny. Okay.
1989. A 19-year-old outfielder started for the Seattle Mariners.
Ken Griffey Jr.
Ken Griffey Jr. at 19 years old. And then in 1999.
It's really funny. I was going to say that. I just should have.
1999, about only 2 days
Alex
before.
Rodriguez?
No, close.
Derek Jeter?
A-Rod was
no.
90.
No, 99. Yeah, I was going to say 99.
And on opening day in 99.
1999.
It was like 2 days before his birthday. He is
Andrew Jones?
A newly minted Hall of Famer.
A newly minted Hall of Famer. So it's one of that. Well, minted or elected?
I guess elected.
So 99. Helton?
Not Helton.
Mauer?
Not Mauer.
Oh, Beltre, right?
Adrian
Yeah,
Beltre.
Jesus.
3 days before his 20th birthday. So that is the list of Churio will be. He will be the 5th.
That is an impressive
list
list
in the divisional era.
That is an impressive.
Also, fun one from MLB Network. Out of active players, who has had the most opening day starts at each position.
Active players.
Yeah.
Most opening day starts at each position.
Mm-hmm.
So Salvador Perez.
Yes, he had 9 starts as a catcher.
Paul Goldschmidt.
No.
Did Joey Votto make the team in Toronto? Is Joey Votto?
Joey Votto is not the answer.
It's not Joey Votto or Paul Goldschmidt.
He does have the most number of starts of any player that the first baseman does.
Man, who am I blanking on? I would have assumed it was one of those two guys. First baseman with the most opening day It's not Jose Abreu.
It's not Jose Abreu.
I just got to be completely forgetting somebody here.
I'm trying to figure out a way to not give it away. He changed he changed National League teams last year, 2 years ago. When did he switch teams? But he was
changed National League
went
teams
from an NL East team to an NL West team.
From an NL East team to an NL West team. NL East team to an NL West team. Oh my. It's not. Why am I struggling with this?
In 2021, he was with this NL East team. In 2022 was his first season with.
So 2 years ago he changed
2 years
teams.
ago.
2 years ago he changed. Oh, Freddie Freeman.
Freddie
right.
Freeman.
Yeah, my bad.
Freddie
My
Freeman,
bad.
the
Weesh.
LA
But I'm still
Dodgers.
surprised it's more than
Anyone else? Any other active starters elsewhere?
All right.
Second base.
Second base. Second base.
With 11 starts.
11 starts at second base. Altuve?
Jose Altuve.
Okay. Shortstop.
So the team that he made all these starts
Trey
with,
Turner?
Not Trey Turner.
Seager?
No.
It feels like are there really any?
There's one more really old shortstop. And
one more
he is
really
not
old-
with the team that he's been with his entire career this year.
Not
I
with
think
the
I forgot
team.
that he switched teams to this team as well.
Not with the team that he's been with for his entire career this year. So he moved teams this offseason.
Correct.
Man.
Went from an NL West team, so he's been on an NL West team. He's now on an NL Central team.
Crawford?
Yes. Brandon
Yeah.
Crawford.
Yeah.
He's now a St. Louis Cardinal.
Yes, he's a Card. I was reminded of that recently. All right, third. God, this is brutal.
Yeah, I didn't. Third base, yes.
Third base. Machado?
No, not Machado.
Arenado?
Yes, Nolan
Okay.
Arenado, also St. Louis Cardinal. 10 starts at the corner.
Outfielders.
Yes. And we go by each
Oh,
position.
I'm not. There's zero chance that's happening here. I'm just going to
Okay.
be guessing 3 outfielders. Christ. Man, this is still brutally difficult. Who has been what outfielders about Trout?
Yes, Mike Trout, 11 starts at center. Believe we'll see him today, hopefully. Maybe not hopefully.
Yelich?
Want to see good players. Yes. Christian
Okay.
Yelich, 8 starts at left field.
And the
then-
third, so this is a right fielder now
Yeah.
that we're talking about. Got to be cool to go 3 for 3. I don't know that I'm gonna. Well, Springer wasn't always playing right field. So Springer.
It's not Springer.
All right, let's not do this 'cause we got to go.
He is an LA Dodger, Jason
Oh,
Hayward.
Hayward, yeah.
Jason Hayward. And the designated hitter, this I guess is kind of a
cheap,
cheaper
yeah.
one. And he just signed with the Mets.
JD Martinez,
yes,
right, yep.
JD Martinez, and then the starting pitcher with the active pitcher with the most opening day starts.
Christ. The starting pitcher with the most opening day starts. That's gonna start.
He's not starting this year.
So Verlander?
Yes.
Yeah.
Justin Verlander.
Yeah.
12 opening day starts.
It was a good exercise. I wish it was day we had a little more time,
Yeah.
but it was a good exercise. I did enjoy the exercise. Tidbit was also brought to you, and I could use some exercise. Tidbit brought to you by Superbook. Again, today, Orioles favored -168 on the money line. Total is 7.5. We're betting the Orioles. I don't care what else we bet. Are there anything else interesting? Oh, let's bet something fun. Let's bet who do we want to we want to bet Adley Rutschman's going to have a hit, right?
Yeah.
Oh, the over's -240. That's not going to help us a lot.
Well, I mean, can we do a parlay?
You want to do a parlay of what? Adley Rutschman
Yeah,
to
like
have
we
a
get
hit
Adley get a hit,
and the
Garner.
Orioles to win?
Okay, yeah.
What does that get us? That gets us where are we at now? Oh, it doesn't do the math for me there. Hang on a
Wait a
second.
minute first.
All right, we'll play around with that. I like that. It's a good place to start. That'll get us close to even money. So we're betting the Orioles to win and Adley Rutschman to have a hit. That's what we're doing. All right?
Okay.
That's our bet for today. Superbook.com. Download the Superbook app. Use the code GlennClark23. When you sign up, you'll receive up to $250 in a same-day first bet match, win or lose from Superbook. Tubular brought to you by Atman's. Stop in after the game today.
Ah.
I mean, I guess maybe not today because you're going to come join us at Sports and Social. Stop in after the games this weekend or before the games this weekend at Atman's Harbor Point. Everything is delicious. It's Atman's, but it's Atman's with a bar. Everything. The hand-rolled bagels, corned beef piled high, the full pickle bar, the soups. My God, the soups.
A pickle bar?
Yeah, Atman's Deli. A pickle bar and a bar. AtmansDeli.com to find out daily specials. All right, of course, Orioles, Angels, 3 o'clock on Masson, Corbin Burns, Patrick Sandoval, the pitching matchup. Sweet 16 tonight. Come hang out with us at Sports and Social. CBS, Clemson, Arizona at 7, Alabama, North Carolina after that. TBS and True TV. Just clinging on. I don't know what's going on there. For San Diego State, UConn at 7:30, Illinois, Iowa State after that. Baseball today, 2 Nationals, Reds, 4. MLB TV, free game, Yankees, Astros at 4. ESPN, Cubs, Rangers, 7:30. MLB Network, Cardinals, Dodgers at 4. Red Sox, Mariners at 10:30. Monumental Capitals, Maple Leafs at 7. NBA TV, Bucks, Pelicans at 8. Tennis Channel for coverage from Miami. Golf's got round 1 from Houston. And Access TV for Impact Wrestling at 8. Non-sports, it's baseball.
No, not really.
Watch baseball. Everything else, GlennClarkRadio.com. Thanks today to Ross. Thanks to Amani Hansberry. Thanks to Stevie Daniels. Thanks to Mark Gubicza. We'll get it all up in the greatest hits section of the
Oh, my God, it's so good.
tab at GlennClarkRadio.com. Stan will be here tomorrow. Doug Glanville joining us tomorrow.
That is the plan, yes.
All right. So we'll talk some baseball with Doug Glanville and stuff and things. Very good. Thanks to everybody at PressBox, all of our great sponsors and partners, including Ruth's Chris, Live Casino and Hotel, Atman's Deli, A.J. Michaels, Guilford Hall Brewery, Royal Farms, Costa Sin, Superbook Sports, Glory Days Grill, your local Toyota dealer, buyatoyota.com. Thanks to Griffin at Griffin_Bass. Follow us, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Glenn Clark Radio. Have a great Thursday evening. Go Birds! And we'll see you tonight at Sports and Social. Duke sucks.